Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
Interesting. I remember practicing in the hallway. I'm in the hallway covering it.
I would like to call to order the meeting of the Neenah Common Council for Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. First item of business is the roll call. Please sign in and answer the clerk as your name is called, please.
Alderperson Boyette.
Here.
Bates.
Here.
Hillstrom.
Here.
Lundrum.
Here.
Orchard.
Present.
Lang.
Here.
Skirms.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
And Stevenson.
Here.
There's a quorum present. All members are present. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Council President Todd Stevenson.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
All right, well, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. We're going to keep her moving tonight because Jane just had a plane land with grandkids on it, so. Hey, Jane?
You announced that.
Part of the public record.
I'm waiting for a motion to adjourn.
That's okay. All right, that's cool. So tonight, we're going to start off, I have invited Bergstrom Mahler Museum to Amy Moorfield to come and join us and just give us a 7 to 10 minute little presentation on Bergstrom Mahler Museum of Glass. So welcome.
For me to be able to speak tonight.
Try and turn that mic. There you go. Then the
Can you hear
people
me?
at home will be able to
Good?
hear you.
All right, so just want to thank you again, Mayor, for the opportunity to speak tonight. And I also want to thank Alderperson Tammy Erickson, who's on our board. Thank you, Tammy, so much. And for all of your support as we are have exciting things going on right now at the museum. I wanted to share a little bit about our COVID experience, what we have going on the horizon. But before I do, I want to introduce a couple people who are with me tonight. Kathy Brost, who's an attorney with Legacy Private Trust. She's on our board. And then Amy Peach, who's the director of the Venture Center, part of Fox Valley Technical College, also on our board. And then Mr. John Timmer, our assistant director. So we have, again, just as a little brief, I'm sure I'm speaking to everyone who knows a little bit about it, but for those that aren't familiar, the Bergstrom Mahler has been in existence since 1959. We dearly are beloved of our partnership with the city. We appreciate you all as our landlords. And we have been passionate about supporting the community, and mission-free is our charter for our general mission since 1959. Now in 2012, because of the nature of our hallmark collections, which are based in glass, the decision was to move to focusing on all glass, giving more distinction to the area and, of course, to the museum itself, and supporting our mission. It made a lot of sense at the time, and we are committed to doing that. Just wanted to show you an image. This is Art After Dark, and we just had an incredibly successful one, and I know you had a great deal of approving some of the permits for that. That was over 700 people that were on our back lawn. So again, the mission of our museum is we want to engage and excite and educate our region and global audiences through glass paperweights, collections, and changing exhibits. And a couple little bullet points for those of you who are not familiar. We are only one of a handful of museums that are accredited by the American Alliance of Museums. I call that the FDA stamp of approval on our processes, facilities, what we do, and how we take care of our collection for the community. At the time when we were accredited, that was 1974, we were only one of 4 museums in the state of Wisconsin that received that distinction. We are now one of 21, and we're undergoing reaccreditation processes right now. It's a very rigorous process. It allows us for introspection and deep listening in the community. We are the largest presenter of paperweights in the country on public view. So that's also a great distinction for Neenah. And we are, as I mentioned, established in 1959. We are general admission free always, which makes us very unique compared to other arts and cultural organizations in the community and makes us distinctive in the Fox cities. So just want to talk a little bit a moment about the COVID impact and grant funding. So you all understand what we did in order to not only survive but thrive during a challenging time that still is challenging for our institution and the community. So wanted to share a couple COVID challenges and opportunities. For those of you who may be aware, we were closed from March 15th through July 2nd, 2020. After that point, we did reopen, but we did have limited capacities in galleries and classes. We had to cancel a lot of major events, which were some funding source for us that I will share with you in a minute, and then gift shop sales decreased. So COVID, in all honesty, as I kind of like to say, COVID ruins everything. But in many ways, it gave us a pause moment to be able to really think about not only how we serve the community here in Neenah, but larger and bring distinction to Neenah by opening up our audience. So how we did that, like I'm sure you've heard many institutions done, we started creating a lot of virtual experiences with our exhibits. Our highly attended art activity days were transferred to live Zoom make sessions with take-home kits. So our first time we did that last November, we sold over 200 kits. And we did a series of live Zooms with our very engaging studio manager, and it was a big hit. Our in-person artist series, we migrated online. And ended up getting a lot more attendance, of course, not only from the community online here, but also all around the globe. Something dear to my heart, our Spark program that works with people and their caregivers that have dementia and Alzheimer's. That typically is an on-site program. We also migrated that online. We also expanded the museum shop and its Shopify presence online and really did excellent. So we were able to share the work of over 100 artists from our shop and now globally and virtually. So we also started creation of a bunch of I refer to as fundraisers, F-U-N, to help support the museum and the community during our challenging time. So I just wanted to share an image. This is as we've migrated online. We are starting to do Spark again in person, but that was during Christmas time. You recognize maybe some of the ugly Christmas sweaters there, but those are some attendants of our Spark program. That's a partnership with several other museums in the area, including the Payne and Building for Kids. So we do receive some funds from the Bader Foundation for that. And I also wanted to share some examples of our art activity days. That's our cute little ghost that we're selling as a kit right now because we sadly just had a COVID breakthrough. And then down below, that's our cute turkey that is going to be in-person art activity happening the first Saturday in November. And then I wanted to share that we had summer camps. We ran summer camps in July of 2020. We ran them again this summer. We are one of the most inexpensive summer camps in the area and delighted to be so. They're full. We did run them at limited capacity the past 2 years, but it was delightful and wonderful. You see the little girl looking at our paperweights who has gorgeous magenta hair. So it was great to see them at the museum this summer. Wanted to talk a little bit about our PPP and our cultural organization grant. So you see there some of the funding that we received. We just got our second PPP loan forgiven. These were very difficult grants for us to write and also to receive. It was a lot of hard work, and I want to thank John Timmer specifically for his huge efforts in making sure that we were able to help support our operations. You see it's a total of $19.8 7.2% of our annual budget was supported by PPP and the Cultural Organization Grant. I will say we went from an FTE of 9 people, and we actually hired more during this time, so we are now up to 11 full-time FTE. We did not lay off or furlough any staff at all during COVID or during limited capacity afterwards. And I'm very delighted and proud to say that because a lot of them are Neenah residents or Oshkosh or nearby residents. That was something that we were very delighted. We also retained about 40 of our volunteers who still actively worked with us during COVID, out of about a roster of 150 pre-COVID. I also want to share a quick moment about our fantastic board. We have 14 board members. The Mayor Kofert, thank you, serves on our board, as does Alderperson Tammy Erickson. We have, of those 14, 12 of those board members are Wisconsin residents, and 9 of those 12 are right here in Neenah or nearby. And the other 2 are actually in the glass world. One is in New York, and the other one is Philadelphia. So we really do believe that our board stays fairly core here in the area, but it is important for us to make sure we are globally aware and encouraging leaders in the glass world to also support our mission. The board also was incredibly supportive, had a very cautious approach when we did have COVID-related closures, and we did have a couple of those, and most recently we had a brief one this weekend due to a breakthrough case. I'm delighted to say our entire staff and all our volunteers are 100% vaccinated, and many have gotten their booster shot. So you see, in terms of our revenue sources for the fiscal year 2021, you'll see the percentages here. Our endowment actually takes about 35% of our revenues in terms of our funds. We're very appreciative to the City of Neenah for your percentage helping us each year. You'll see the percentage of membership that helps support our efforts, our contributions at 25%, and the PP loan forgiveness helped us bridge the gap at 9%. We did increase some special events. We did an online auction. It was the very first one we ever did, called Catching Fire, and I'll talk about that briefly, and that helped us during this difficult time. I want to invite all of you to our annual meeting. We're working through the ends of our audit right now. At that annual meeting, it's for the membership per our bylaws. You are kindly invited as my personal guest for those of you that aren't members, but I hope most of you are. You will hear at that point in terms of our reporting on our endowment through our partners at North Star that manage our account here in Neenah. You'll also hear the good works of what's going on with the staff and the board and as well. But if you have specific questions, we're wrapping up those finances right now for that meeting. And that happens next Wednesday on the 27th of October at 5:30 p.m. So please let me know if you'd like to join in. We'd be delighted to have you. And then you'll see our expenses for this past fiscal year. So you see, where does that money go? So 48% of it goes to salary and wages. We have a very nice competitive benefit package. We are fortunate to be able to offer some very good benefits to our employees. You'll see our building expenses are about 9%. Our exhibit expenses are at 2%. Same with special expenses, event expenses, insurance at 7%, and so on and so forth. And I also want to share, even though we had COVID during fiscal year 20, we still were able to present works at the exhibit, either virtually or on site, and support the community, and we had attendance of 11,000, which is less than what we've had before, but still quite an impressive number, depending, even with what we were experiencing with limited capacity, 50% limited capacity, as well as being closed for a certain period of time. So what's our future direction? Because of accreditation, but more so we do need to do this, we right now are working on a strategic plan. Now, a strategic plan is not a feasibility study. A strategic plan for us, as I'm sure you all know, is our future path for the next 3 to 5 years. So it's community-based. We've asked a lot of stakeholders in the community to give us feedback during this. We're working with a strategic planning group called Benefactor Group, who has worked with the Milwaukee Museum of Art, as well as Cedar Rapids. They work very closely with museums to build a robust, community-supported and listened-to plan. So as we are working towards that strategic plan, which should be finished up in the spring, we want to refreshen our vision a little bit. make it a little bit more contemporary, still focusing on glass, but we really just want to say we want bold discoveries in glass for all, and want to talk a little bit of how we're going to accomplish that. And again, emission-free for all. So one of the ways we want to do that is the creation of extraordinary experiences. We're developing a major loan program. We're going to take some of our paperweights on the road and travel those to other institutions around the country to gain recognition for the museum and also for Neenah. We're building partnerships with museums both in Wisconsin and outside. I'm delighted to say some of our work actually will be on view at the Payne next spring, which is wonderful. We're working on a partnership with them. We are cultivating glass collectors. I'm delighted to say we just received a major gift of new work to the collection. We are almost out of room in our storage. So we're looking for new ways in terms of how are we going to take care of works and possible gifts that are coming down the pike. A lot of the glass collecting community is of a certain age, and they're looking for what to do with their legacy of collecting. Now, Bergstrom Mahler is considered a leader in the glass world, and that's exciting for us. We're starting to be approached by major collectors in terms of placement for those specific collections. So yay, we're fingers crossed on that. Listening community is very important to us. We are, of course, very proud to be in Neenah. So we want to continually talk with community stakeholders to hear the good and the bad of how we're doing in the community and what we need to focus on. One of the new positions that was approved by the board that we just hired for, actually she's a Neenah resident, is our new education and outreach program manager. Her job will be to go into the schools and to communities that we haven't had a chance to tap yet, and to really be able to work on deep partnerships to get more people to come, into this museum. I mentioned an online auction. We were unable for 2 years in a row to do the Arts Festival. One thing we did need to do is to raise some funds through special events, but more than that, we wanted to be good partners and out there in the world, even during COVID. So we decided to do an online glass auction. We split the proceeds 50% with artists around the world. We had over 251 people participate in the auction. It was a virtual auction. We had a live auctioneer. So it was glass art and glass experiences, very tied to our mission. From that auction, we raised $103,000, which is wonderful. And we gave $34,000 of it to the artists that were our partners in that event. So typically with auctions, as an artist, you get asked to donate something. We did not want to do that. We asked for their kind contribution of 50%. It was so wonderful in terms of getting the word out about our organization. We had people support us and participate in that auction, both artists as well as registrants from 7 countries. So, and half of the people that actually were participating in the auction purchasing things, half of them were new to the museum. So we do intend to continue doing this particular fundraising activity and FUN fundraising. The other thing is Art After Dark. I want to give you 2 examples of how we're recalibrating our programming. We want to be a very good neighbor and a steward with our resources and an engaged friend to the community. We just recently had this Art After Dark. Part of the reboot is development of new partnerships with community resources, including local food vendors, drink vendors, and musicians. We want to make sure we're giving back and supporting the community. It was emission-free and open to all. It was on September 16th. It was a beautiful evening in the backyard. The theme was Let It Glow. We had, believe it or not, over 500 people attend the event. So we're going to be doing these quarterly. The next one is a Festivus themed from the Seinfeld airing of grievances. We're going to be doing that again at the museum, and that's going to be on December 16th. So, and again, this is also significant dollars for our partners of food vendors, musicians, and others that joined us that night in partnership. The other is art activity scholarships. So I passed out, did you guys see your golden ticket? So the Community Foundation, we're starting to get some good word out there. I got a call from the Community Foundation. They said, we have a funder who's interested in supporting you. Pitch me on the phone what you're interested in. And I said, we really could use scholarships for our art activity day. It's a $15 fee to make a glass activity in the studio. I want to also preference, we do a lot of free activities that day too for the community. And they said, absolutely. So the Community Foundation and the Helen Hart Fund funded 193 scholarships for children. So I'm asking, you're welcome to use your golden ticket or pass it along to someone who you think might be interested in making us an activity. And so we do this on typically the first Saturday of the month, and we have 2 really exciting ones coming up. We've got one of the turkeys in November, and then our Christmas one as well. So in looking forward, I'm excited to say we're at the beginning of creating a hot shop at the museum in a small way. We also had 2 angels provide funding through grants to develop for new torches for our glass studio, as well as what you see up there is actually called a mini dragon. It's a mobile furnace that we can take with us and blow glass, do demos, take to festivals, events. Our studio manager there, Taylor, is going to be trained on it this spring with master glass artists, and we are going to be able to increase the bench of our educational programming at the museum to the public. So this is more to come on that, but we're really excited to be able to enhance our programming. Also looking forward, so the art festival we were unable to have for 2 years in a row. It was slowly dying in terms of the 3 years prior, our attendance had gone down significantly year to year. In addition to that, we were having difficulty getting even artists to participate, to present their work in this festival. The pause gave us an opportunity to do a reboot and really make sure it was mission forward and mission based for glass. So we are rebooting the festival. We are holding it on July 9th. It'll be exclusively on glass, or mostly primarily glass-related work. It's rebooted, again, to make it more mission-forward, but also to reflect the volunteer capacity. It takes a huge legion of volunteers to do this type of event. We simply don't have the bench anymore to do that in terms of capacity. The other thing that will be a little different is that we will be having this event on the museum grounds, on the back lawn and the front lawn. We still will do a huge kids activity tent, more than likely more food vendors and more performances as well. It will be admission free, as it always is. And also, I'm pleased to say the Paperweight Collectors Association, yes, that is such a thing, has over 200 global attendees will be coming to the museum in May of 2020. It's going to bring significant dollars into our community, and it's a huge opportunity to showcase this museum as well as the area. They're planning lots of activities around and about, so we'd love to welcome you all to come for some of those events. We're going to be talking paperweights. We're going to be expecting paperweights. There's going to be paperweight vendors. You guys are going to be so enmeshed in paperweights by the time this conference will be finished. It will be going on from May 18th through May 21st. So we're excited. And it's planned to be in person. So again, we just envision Bergstrom Mahler as a creative incubator for our community and a good neighbor and an artist supporter and originator. And I deeply thank all of you for your help and support. And again, please do come to our annual meeting. It's virtual, it's via Zoom. We'd love to see you there so you can hear from our financials specifically for our new audited year, but also some of the good work we're doing and our board is doing. So I thank you all very much. Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much, Amy, for the update. Anyone have any questions? All right, well, we really appreciate it, and you know what, we're really proud, I'm really proud to have this right in our backyard. I think knowing people from all over the world that know about it, I know when I was in Madison, people would bring it up to me, so it's quite an asset for the community, and we appreciate everything you folks do, so thank you.
Thank you, and as a new resident to Neenah, I've been here for a year, I think each and every one of you have reached out and made me feel welcome. And yeah, that winter was fun. Thank you again very much.
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you for the ticket.
Yep. Use your gold ticket.
I originally thought it was going to be for chocolate because I watched that movie like 10 times when I was a kid. So, all right. Thank you very, very much. All right. There are no mayor's appointments tonight. Approval of council proceedings of October 6, 2021, regular session. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
There's a motion by Alderman Lundrum, seconded by Alderman Skirms. Any questions, corrections, additions, or comments? Seeing none, is there any objection? Unanimous consent that the proceedings be approved. Hearing none, that's ordered. Item number 4, tonight we have a public hearing To consider ordinance number 2021-17, rezoning lands located at 405 East Wisconsin Avenue from the R2 two-family residence district to the R1 single-family residence district. And I would, at this time, open up the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak at the public hearing? Anyone here who would like to speak on the public hearing? And last call. Seeing no one here who wants to speak on that, I will close the public hearing and go to item number 5, which is the Plan Commission report that pertains to tonight's public hearing. Alderperson Lang?
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting from the Plan Commission meeting of October 12th. Minutes can be found on the city's website. Commission recommends council approve ordinance number 2021-17, rezoning 405 East Wisconsin Avenue to the R1 single-family residence district, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lang, seconded by Alderman Hillstrom. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion will vote aye. Any opposed, vote no. On the roll call machine, please. That motion passes 9-0. Thank you very much for that report. Item number 6 is a public forum. Public forum is an opportunity for anyone in the community to come and visit the council and speak on any topic that you so desire. Anyone here tonight who'd like to speak? Don't think we have anyone with us tonight, so we will close the public forum. There is no consent agenda tonight. Oops. Oh, I got the old one again. I got to learn to always check. Sorry about that. Yes, there is. Okay, I'm sorry. Consent agenda. Is there a motion on tonight's consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? See no discussion? All in favor? There is a motion and a second. Is there any objection to unanimous consent to approve the consent agenda? Seeing no objection, that's so ordered. Now we move on to item number 9, which is the report of standing committees, Public Service and Safety Committee meeting of October 12, 2021. Chairperson Bates.
I believe we covered
You
everything.
Covered it all?
Yes.
The easement request.
That's the only thing that's on the agenda, so we're
Yep.
good.
I haven't, the first agenda that came out, that's what, yep, that was under the consent agenda. So we'll move on to the regular Finance Personnel Committee meeting of October 11th.
That's right.
Taken care of also.
No. One item.
I haven't. Committee, so there's regular Finance Personnel Committee Chairperson Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of October 11th, 2021. First item and only item is the committee recommends council approve the 2022 medical, dental, and vision insurance plans and the transition of the employee clinic provider from Ascension to ThedaCare. And I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Lang. Discussion or questions? Anyone make an explanation? I would just say that I'd like to thank Lindsay and Michael for their work on this. There was quite a few meetings and that back and forth. We have a new company assisting us this year, and they did a very nice job of bringing some new things to the table on that for our employee benefits, and so very much appreciated the job we did. So thank you very much for doing that. Alderman Boyette.
Thank you. Lindsay, I just had one question. Every time we change something, I just like to know on the employee side, how many are affected by this change, and is it a happy change?
Yeah, so the largest change is the elimination of our lower deductible broad plan, and 25 employees were on that plan. That plan was our least utilized and also most expensive. So,
Thank you.
No? All right, thank you, Lindsay. All right. There is a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion to approve the 2022 medical, dental, and vision insurance plans and the transition of the employee clinic provider from Ascension to Theta Care will vote aye. All opposed vote no. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Item number 10 is the report of the regular, the special committees, liaisons, various special projects committee. The first item was given under the public hearing from the Plan Commission. Item number B is the redistricting committee meeting of October 11, 2021. Director Hayes?
Thank you, Mayor. I wasn't prepared to speak. Okay, I had my agenda.
On the agenda, but
I
that's
provided
okay.
a memo to the, okay, I have it back, I should say.
Maybe you could borrow Dean's.
We have this, keeping costs down, we're sharing one agenda. I provided the council, City Clerk Nagel and I have provided a memo to the council regarding the work we've been doing on the redistricting. It's a little unusual, it's not unusual. We have tonight the action before you is creation of the ward plan, but it's kind of like making a glove without a hand, because the ward is really going to establish the aldermanic districts, so we provided that information as well. That is, we'll have a public hearing at the next council meeting and subsequent action at that same meeting. But again, tonight the plan is to, or the request is to approve the recommended ward plan. We have matched the boundaries of the 6 supervisory districts that represent the city, 4 of which represent the city in its entirety, 2 that represent both the city and portions of the town of Neenah and Fox Crossing. So those populations are a little bit different. When you get to the aldermanic district plan, the because of that potential growth in Neenah District 3, that particular district has a smaller population than aldermanic District 1 and 2. But I hate to say it, but I think this is my 3rd redistricting for me. So, and we've always had the growth in aldermanic District 3, recognizing that that's most likely the area that we will receive growth in the future. It's most likely to get us to equilibrium quicker with that plan. With that, I would again recommend approval of resolution number 2021-15, creating new ward boundaries for the city of Neenah. And I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mayor,
Alderman Stevenson?
I'll move to approve resolution 2021-15 purposes of discussion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. I assume that Todd, your 3rd? What's your 3rd?
It might be my 4th.
It's your 4th? Oh, very good.
80.
Oh, good for you. Alderman Bates.
Thank you, Mayor. Since I was on the committee 10 years ago, and one of the things I get, for some reason people realize that and they call me about it, I always try and tell them that there's not a lot that we can do, especially when it's already been handed down where the county lines have been drawn. I did want to commend you on some of the lines that I see that are drawn that are along rivers and highways and things, and to let people know that that's what we are instructed to do by the government, the federal government, to when you're drawing lines to make them logical. And One thing I wanted to make sure on this one is the voting spots. Shara would probably know this. So the voting spots are still pretty consistent, because when we have the most trouble is when we've had to move people from one voting location to another. So,
Yes, we did look at that in committee, and they are pretty much the same as they were in
so the locations are good.
the locations are good.
And then the other thing is to make sure that we really contact the people that have to move from one to another earlier rather than later, because, when we moved out of the schools, we discovered a lot of people still went to the old place, and we had to put up little posters and say, no. But this would be individuals that will be moving.
Yes, so for state statute, we have to notify the voters whose wards have changed, and along with the ward change, we would notify where the polling location.
Yeah, make it some sort of like bright pink or something, so it's
Yeah.
not. Thank you much.
All right, thank you. Any other comments? If not, there is a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2021-15, create the new ward boundaries pursuant to section 515 Wisconsin statutes. All in favor will vote aye. Any opposed, vote no. That motion passes 9-0. Item number C, a report from the CDA. Are you prepared to give us a report, Director Hayes?
Strike two. Yes, sir. The only thing I think I can inform the committee or the council on is the continuation of the work on the 201 West Wisconsin project. We are monitoring that, but I would say I'm feeling good that we were able to secure the CDI grant of $250,000 because the costs of construction on that environmentally sensitive site will be expensive. It's our obligation, the CDA's obligation, to cover some of those costs. And every time, not every time, but for the most part, every cement truck that we've seen run in there in the last 3 weeks are trucks that we're going to end up paying for. And every time they scoop dirt, they seem to find more. But the good news is we're getting close to the end of digging, and soon the building, not soon enough, but soon the building will be coming out of the ground, and our liability will be diminished significantly. That's all I have, Mayor.
Alderman Stevenson.
So, Chris, along that line, I'm hoping and I'm assuming that we're some way, shape, or form monitoring those trucks as they come out so that we get a feel for. I imagine those trucks are going to Hilbert or someplace for contaminated disposal.
Some of them are. That's the part that's we were aware of and knew we were going to deal with. It's quite honestly, the biggest unknown there has been the amount of over excavation that's been necessary to get the suitable soils. And obviously, when you dig deeper, the trenches get wider. Removal of some foundations that we did not anticipate. There's some old brick foundations right up on the corner of Church in Wisconsin. But then to bring that foundation or bring that grade back up to where they actually pour the foundation, they put in what's called lean fill, which is primarily stone and a mix of concrete. But it takes quite a bit of it, and it's less. I don't want to say it's less expensive. It's the most cost-effective way to bring that void up to a grade that they can now pour the foundation on and still get the structural support to build a building. So
It sounds like when you on your original presentation, it sounded like the unknown but realized environmental disposal is going to lead to an additional incremental cost for the city. But it sounds in your second comment that where the incremental cost is going to come from is unexpected and unanticipated foundation and ground conditions, not necessarily contaminated soil. That's going to increase the cost.
that's true. And As an example, when we demolished Gladfelter, some of the buildings they backfilled with clay, which is fine, but it wasn't, I'm not sure that was anyone's fault. It just wasn't compacted to the point that it can provide the structural support for the building that they're building. So that had to be over excavated until they can get to that certain resistance, and then they have to backfill again. But to answer your question, yes, I think you're correct.
Thank you. Well, and as long as we're monitoring and there's like no real surprise to you, but as this cost becomes known and experienced, updates to the council would be wise.
We'll do our best.
Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation. Question. The only thing that I remember on that north side, and I can remember it vividly because the two gentlemen that ran it, was Bames Meat Market. I have a moment here, I can't think of their name. They're two brothers. I'm looking at Jane because she
knows everything.
was it?
One of the guys' nicknames was Speed. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh,
Speed.
whatever.
Speed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. Thank you. His nickname was Speed. Yeah. Long time ago. All right. Well, thank you for the update. Item number D is the library board. Alderperson Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. The Neenah Public Library Board of Trustees met today at 4 o'clock. I'm happy to report that circulation has increased at the library, both electronic and other material circulation. I want to just highlight some of the programming that is currently occurring. There is a chess program, short story night, chair yoga, the history program, and I believe there will be a history program tomorrow night. Memory Cafe, an investment club, and a ukulele club is currently meeting. So there's a lot of interesting programming. If you're interested in any of this, please visit the Neenah Public Library website and check out some books. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The next report is also from Alderperson Erickson, the Neenah Arts Council.
Thank you. The Neenah Arts Council met on October 13th. We are fine-tuning the photography contest, which will be held in February. The display will be held in February. And we are also going to be doing a project on December 3rd in the Alta Resource Building for a Very Neenah Christmas. So that's another project that we're working on. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you for what you do. There you go. Item number 11 is presentation of petitions, and we do have a petition tonight that's been presented to the clerk. This refers to a petition for speed reduction and bike lane designation petition from the Mahler Bell Street Condominium Association. Is there a motion to refer that to a committee?
I'll move to refer that to Public Services and Safety Committee.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to refer the petition to the Public Service Safety Committee. Any comments or questions? If not, all in favor? Oops. Alderman Erickson, go ahead.
I don't have a comment on referring it to the committee, but I just have a comment on their request. Since I live in that area, it is an issue. The speed on that street is very, very high.
Okay. Well, committee will take a look at it then. Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor of referring the petition to the Public Service Safety Committee meeting will vote aye. Any against votes no, please. That motion passes 9-0. Any council directives? Any unfinished business? Any unfinished business? Under new business, anyone have anything? I have a couple things, but anyone else under new business? Things I have is I have completed my portion of the budget with the help of a lot of people. That is at the printer, as I understand.
Yeah, sure. We're going to follow the precedent from the last couple of years in that we're going to give you a kind of a two-step budget distribution. On Friday, you will receive what we are starting to or continue to call the executive summary, which is sort of the true, all of the true specific things that are probably of most important. Tax rate levy, capital projects, and so on. The big book, which is upwards of 400 pages, is currently at the printer and needs to come back. We have to do a table of contents. It's being page numbered and then sent back to them to copy. That hopefully will be available sometime no later than the middle of next week. So to give you the executive summary to sort of wet your whistle and then give you the big book a little after that. So that's the plan, and so far so good.
And with that being said,
Excuse me, will that be in our mailboxes?
Well, again, Mayor,
I'd like
you
to-
let me know. We will deliver them on Friday.
CSA.
You're talking about the executive summary part of the budget?
We'll ask. Yes.
Yep, we'll have them delivered on Friday. Okay.
Alderman Bates, go ahead.
Mike, if, do you guys have the full schedule out for that, all the budget workshops?
We're just talking about the budget workshop.
Oh, yeah, I was going there next, so, but Mike is, historically, and Mike and I have talked, Todd and I haven't had a chance to talk, but we talked once, but in generic terms, Todd and I haven't nailed this down yet, but I wanted to bring up tonight that Todd and I could hear if there was any problems. The possibilities and what we've done in the past is we have done the Monday night.
Right.
But Monday night would be November 1st to kick it off. And then on Wednesday night, that would be a council meeting. So historically, what we've done is we've done a few of the easier budgets on Wednesday night after the council meeting. Try to keep the agenda fairly light from the committee meetings so that we can have a short council meeting and then go right into a budget meeting. That would be on Wednesday the 3rd. And then give you time, the weekend, to digest and go Monday the 8th, Tuesday the 9th. So, I don't know if people have comments. Alderman Stevenson, Council President.
Works for me.
There would be a short committee hearing, meetings if necessary, and then go right into the budget. So if you need a committee meeting on the 8th or 9th, sometimes we don't need it, we do it before the next council meeting, those types of things. But we try to keep, staff tries to keep the agendas light. There will be a couple of things, I think, for the, going on, but try and keep them light. Jerry?
I was just going to make you aware that on the 9th, at this point, we're anticipating consultant selection for the police station and consultant selection for South Commercial Street on that agenda.
The time?
Well, I don't know that those two activities have to be done that night. I mean,
Last year's budget, did they start at 6? Or?
Yeah.
we started as early as 5:30, but depends on everyone's schedule.
Right. Or if we had a committee meeting on the same night, we'd start committee at 5:30, workshop immediately to follow. We've done that as well, so we can work that. But typically the 9th of whatever Jerry's night would also be the Public Works, Water.
Right? We'll talk about the consultant thing too. In the meantime, and I'll talk to Todd about that. But Todd, I just wanted to get a feeling from everybody if those nights work. Todd and I can chat and we can set it up.
So does anybody have any issues with those nights?
going 3 nights. In the past, we tried that. Going 3 nights, that third night, everybody was kind of, it made for a long week. That's just my,
So we're saying the 1st, the 3rd after council, the 8th, and the 9th.
historically, that's what.
Leah,
Tammy and then Lee.
On the 9th, I teach a class to 6. So I teach a class until 6, so I,
So Todd, make a little note of that. Lee?
Yeah, I'm having some oral surgery on the 1st, so I'm guessing I'm not gonna be able to make the 1st.
Well, that's one
I'm
less,
not gonna be in any
that's
shape.
one less person talking that night.
Yes, definitely. Or upright.
If you're upright. Okay, yeah, you had mentioned that to me. I forgot about that.
And Mayor, one more thing, again, as a reminder, then the budget hearing and adoption would be scheduled for the following Tuesday, which would be the 16th. And then we would also all have Wednesday, the 17th, as the fallback night, or if in the event that issues came up on the 16th that need to be addressed. And that's also the regular council meeting night as well, depending upon if there's an agenda for that. So it gives us some flexibility either way.
And so I would just say, because we're still under my emergency orders for COVID and that, if someone, wants to by phone, or maybe we can set up something in case someone can't be there in person that night, we'll try and make accommodations, okay?
can we meet in the chambers as opposed to the
Say
other?
it again.
Can we meet in here instead?
I still think that was
I think it's,
probably,
not as tight.
and especially if someone.
well, especially considering staff and multiple, Park and Rec has 8.
Yeah, we'll do that, okay? And then, let's see, what did I have? Here we go. I'm sorry. Secondly, the other thing that I wanted to just mention is that it was brought to my attention that Oshkosh is back up and running their PEG channel, public access channel. And as a matter of fact, today I watched last night's Oshkosh County Council meeting, or county board meeting, I'm sorry, the county board meeting that was held last night was on Channel 2. So Joe and I talked to their person today. They're back up and running. They kind of forgot to give us a call, or, it just, they wanted to get theirs back up and running first. It appears that, I got 2 questions. It appears that they originally thought that they had to have Spectrum release us from the Green Bay station so we could be on theirs. If we are viewing Winnebago County and Oshkosh on Channel 2, which I think we're doing that right now, so then they won't have to get that from Spectrum, so we'll be able to do that. So we talked to them today, the ball is rolling, and we're gonna try and get this back up to the Oshkosh Pig, okay? With that being said, does anyone remember what time and night we used to be on? Pardon? Thursday at 6 or something? But weren't we on 2 nights? I DVR'd it all the time. But I don't remember if we were on 1 night or 2 nights. So I just wanted to ask if anyone remembered. But
Well,
for
Mayor-
sure, it was Thursday night.
I think all you have to do is go back to the really old agenda and click on broadcast, and then the date will be right on the broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't even have
We'll
to
try
do
and
that.
find that out. We were just
yeah, just go
kinda-
back to the old, like, pick one from George Shirk's
And we
time and
couldn't
watch it.
We believe, Oshkosh told me that they'll kind of do what we want if the time slots are available. So we're going to try and get twice a week to put it on, okay? What? They don't believe I told them that we're willing to pay a nominal cost, and they just said it depends on, the work that really is done is by Dan and Tom and that. They do most of the work. They give them, as I understand it, Joe explained to me, they give them a, whatever you call those things, and they give it, they put it in, jump drive, and pretty much ready to go. So they don't have a lot of costs, but they are helping us out and doing it, so they may ask for some small monetary to help their time and effort. Well, that's regardless. That's part of the cost that's with them, yes. But with that being said, and I know the attorney's here, Oshkosh does not do closed captioning. They are under the belief that they have the government exemption, some government exemption, so we'll have to look into that. So they do not close caption in Oshkosh. They believe that that's allowed under the ADA.
They do.
But we did have that discussion, and they were going to show us where it's not necessary. Okay? All right. And so that's what I have. Little reminder then, October 27th, so next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday, the council, John Bergstrom, has invited a special invitation, a special little get-together, a preview of the dating plaza, the plaza downtown, along with all city employees. We thought we'd open it up, and he's really excited about bringing us in as a council, because like he told me, this wouldn't have happened without without the council agreeing to this, willing to take this step forward. And so he was having a special night just for you and for the city of Neenah employees. That'll be next week from 5:30 to 7:30. There'll be some light refreshments and probably some small something snacks and that, I believe some music. So that's 2 hours, 5:30 to 7:30 on next Wednesday. And then on the 28th, and that's when the public is invited. And that will be the grand opening. That is with, they're expecting a very large crowd that night. They have the Love Monkeys playing, which is a really good band as I understand it. And so John, very, very excited about showing off that on the 28th. The coffee shop, as I understand it, will be open and ready to go. And it's really a beautiful facility, and people that have been able to get a glimpse of the inside, it's got many, many wow moments. So it's pretty cool. The TV stations will all be there. I have some interviews coming up because I think there's a buzz about this opening. So if you can be there on the 27th, we'd love to have you. I'd like to see everybody there. Say hi. Okay? Anyone else have anything for the good of the order?
Second.
There's a motion for adjournment. There's a second. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 Is there any opposed? Jane? Oh, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin, Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.